Hello and welcome to episode number 75 of the Product Biz Podcast. My name is Monica Little and I'm your host. And today we're bringing another Monica on the show and we're talking about increasing the amount of products that people buy on your Shopify site. So one of the main takeaways from this episode is that your website should do the heavy lifting for you. It should be generating more and more and more sales for you. So if you know what automations and apps to set up, it becomes this money-making machine for you. So the question really is, are you tapping into the potential of your Shopify site or are you leaving money on the table? In today's episode, we chat with special guest Monica Froese on how to get people to your website and how to turn their potential order of one product into an order of $160 worth of products and more, plus how to get them to come back and buy again in the near future over and over and over again, all through automations and apps that you can set up in Shopify. A little bit about Monica. She holds an MBA in finance and marketing and is a digital product coach for small business owners and host of the popular podcast Empowered Business Podcast. She's the founder of the websites Redefining Mom, Empowered Business, and the popular digital product shop Empowered Shop. She helps small businesses grow sustainable and profitable digital product businesses. She spent 11 years working for a Fortune 100 company, running multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns with large brands like Microsoft and HP. Now she provides online marketing education to small businesses that are looking to build a profitable revenue stream through digital products through her online programs, her shop, Empowered Shop, and her podcast. So let's bring on Monica. We'll do a little bit of a Monica Squared episode going on here, and I can't wait for you to hear from her. She has so much great insights to share. Well, welcome, Monica. Oh my gosh, how fun to have another Monica on the show. Welcome to the Product Biz Podcast.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. So we were just chatting on your podcast and you were drilling me with all the Etsy questions. I gotta admit, I'm sweating a little bit. You were asking some really great questions, but I'm so happy to have you on the podcast here to talk about Shopify because I know you have such great knowledge on how to use Shopify, so much insight on how to really just make the most of it. So I'm super excited to have you to chat and share your knowledge with everyone here. But before we dive into that, we'd love for you just to tell us about your entrepreneur journey. Like tell us how you got here, what you do, and all that great stuff.
Yeah, well, after listening to your great story, I feel like we have a lot in common. I definitely got started. My start was in corporate America. I was in the tech industry for 11 years and I have my MBA and I always knew I was entrepreneurial. There's so many things in my past and in my childhood that like really lent itself. But I was also, raised in an environment where like we play it safe and we have a paycheck and we need our stable jobs, and we need our health insurance and all that stuff. I was miserable, though, doing it. And when it really came to a head for me was when I had my first daughter and I had very bad postpartum. I almost died in childbirth. And I started a blog called Redefining Mom. And it was really just a space for me to state my opinions on the lack of maternity leave policies in the U.S. and ended up taking a lot of twisty turns where I went to the White House to meet President Obama. I was invited because of the blog. And I should say my background in I was in tech marketing. So I understood the principles of marketing. And I also understood that blogging was very backwards because the way blogging was taught in the online world was basically you put out a bunch of free content and you might make money on display ads or send people away to click on affiliate links. But I'm like, but blogging is content marketing and content marketing is meant to be free content that leads to something that you're selling. Like that's how big businesses use content marketing. And so I kind of realized very early on that, if I was going to make this, if the blog was going to be a thing, I was going to treat it with the principles that I learned in corporate America, which was if I'm blogging, it's because I'm leading you to buy something from me. So the question then became, what the heck are people going to buy from me, right? And this is like in 2016 at this point, before digital products were really called digital products. I would say like online learning was a thing. We might have been hearing about digital courses, but people weren't saying the term like digital products. And for me, like my first digital product was a spreadsheet, a family budget spreadsheet. And all a digital product is a solution to a problem. So for me, I talked to a lot of corporate working moms on my blog. I decided I was going to take the business full time. And they're like, well, how do you quit your job? I'm like, well, first thing you need when you peel back the onion is a budget, right? Like if your family relies on your paycheck. And I'm like, my husband and I had a just that, a family budget spreadsheet that we used to manage our finances. I templatized it, and to this day, it's made multiple six figures.
Nice.
It's indexed on Pinterest and things like that. And that was really like the birth of digital products for me, where I was like, so basically, this is just me packaging my knowledge into either some sort of either training or templatized way to get people similar results. So, and there's unlimited number of problems out there that you can solve. And the thing is, we always underestimate like the thing that we're really good at. We forget that other people aren't. So for example, I'm great at math. I'm great at spreadsheets. I love budgeting. Many people, if you say budgeting or like you want me to open a spreadsheet, are going to like want to pull out their hair. But that, because it comes so easy for me, I can then synthesize my process, make it a template, make an easy training about it, and make it easier for you too. So that's how like my whole business was born. And now basically I went from being a blogger into a digital product creator. And now I help other people leverage all of the hard work and content that they're creating into profitable shop listings in a digital product shop format.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. And I love what you said about the spreadsheet, because I agree with that 100% about the budgeting spreadsheet, because it truly is like one of the things that you use on a daily basis that we think are such a no-brainer. Like, oh yeah, anyone can put the spreadsheet together. But in reality, like you said, so many people who struggle with that, and then finding ways to sell it and help people with that. And I know we just had an Etsy conversation, but I mean, that type of budgeting spreadsheet would do phenomenal on Etsy, because that's where people are looking for stuff like that, like these downloads, these templates, things that are going to help them. So maybe we'll see if that happens for you.
So I will say that the stuff that I sell on the Redefining Mom side of the house, because the brand is still mine. We still run it. And so like things for like our templates and tools for moms reside on Redefining Mom, absolutely primed products that should be on Etsy. My biggest competition for my products are on Etsy.
Super interesting.
So I know this. Now I haven't done anything about it, but maybe after talking to you, I will. We'll see. Like for me, that's a great low hanging fruit to take like my mom products and put them on Etsy. I don't know why I haven't, but we should.
And maybe after our conversation now, we'll see if that happens. But I also love what you said about blogging too, because I essentially did that for plant-based beauty. I had a ton of blogs about like cystic acne and eating healthy and the importance of it and natural deodorant, why that's important. And I always had it linked to like an actual product. And then when I would go on Pinterest, similar to you, I had one pin out of all the pins that I tried. I was not a Pinterest expert. I had one pin that actually took off and did well. And I sold so much of my cystic acne set from having that. So I love just hearing you think through of like, okay, if we're spending all this time creating content, it's better go somewhere, it better promote something, it better sell something.
It doesn't like, it kind of actually blows my mind when people are like, I'm going to start a blog. Okay. And they come up with a topic and then they just start like putting out content, and then they spend so much time and energy to figure out. So they're figuring out like what people want to hear about this topic, but they're putting in this blog post format, and then that's where it stops. And so then they're like, well, I'm not making money off this. How do I make money? And then they just slap on display ads. And I'm like, so you're spending all this time to get people to your website with keywording your blog post well and all that, but then you're letting them click on an irrelevant ad to go pay someone else money. This sounds kind of backwards. So I always tell people all the time, if you're going to blog, great, but you have to start with the end in mind. And that's like a lot of things we do in life. I compare it to like a college degree and how I hated my showing up for World Civ, which was a gen ed I had to do to get my degree. And it's like, I never would have shown up for that class if I hadn't known that I needed the class to get to the end goal, which is my degree. But I had to know that I wanted the degree to know that, so like, I don't know why online it seems like people miss the fact that you're really in business to do one thing, which is to sell something.
Yep. 100%. Solve a problem, sell it, make some money while you're doing it. 100%.
Right.
Okay, cool. I love it.
And all these other things support it, like the content marketing and the blogging.
Yeah. So one thing I want to talk to you, because I love how you said blogging, content marketing, Pinterest, and you grew that template. Like that's incredible. So tell me a little bit more about how Shopify comes into play, because I know you're a Shopify expert. So when you started this part of your business, which now has grown, evolved, and has separate components, which is absolutely incredible. But did you start on Shopify? Have you used Shopify throughout the entire part? Like tell me the Shopify story.
Yeah, the Shopify story for us is a little interesting because I definitely fell into the sales funnel model for a long time. So once I started launching different products. Like I had the family budget spreadsheet, and then it kind of I got really good at Pinterest ads. So then I had a course on that, which was like super popular for 4 years because I was good at it. And I'm a fairly good teacher. I came to learn. I would never have known that before, but I'm really granular and can really synthesize things down. And so I just kept launching all these different types. I had two sides of the house then, the training, the marketing training side, and the B2C redefining mom side. So I was kind of running two different brands. And basically what would happen is, so sales funnels to me, just to define the difference between a sales funnel and a shop, a sales funnel is when you give someone a hyper specific buying journey. So it's meant to have no distraction. So that's great for attracting new people to you because you're like, let's say I offer a free opt-in and behind it, I have a limited time offer. And that's the only thing you can buy from me at that time. Like, why would that be? It's because you came to me for this specific reason. If I present you with too many things, you can go squirrel, right? So it's like how to bring people. Sales funnels allow you to bring people into your world. But in the online model, it became this thing of like everything had a sales page, but then everything needed a different checkout page as well. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm selling, let's say 10 different spreadsheets. You have to check out 10 different times to buy my 10 different spreadsheets. So what was happening in my business, and I've seen happen in so many people's businesses who create a lot of content, create a lot of digital products, have courses, have memberships, is they keep feeling like they have to launch something new to make money, and they're not leveraging what they've already created. So they're amassing this enormous amount of different products. And even inside of like a larger program, like a course, inside of a course, if you're a course creator or a membership creator, think of all the things that really could be standalone that someone could buy. Like, I have a training in this course that really could stand alone, or I have a template in this course that really could stand alone, but only the people in that program will ever access it. So it's like, there was this aura of like, I'm constantly pumping out things to sell to people, but I'm not leveraging it in the long run in the best way possible. So in 2020, we soft launched a shop on Shopify. It was like, so intuitively, I was like, wow, we really need a centralized place for people to see all the things we have to offer, because sending them to 40 different sales pages isn't really cutting it. So let's get a shop. But then what we learned is, so we launched the shop, and it was kind of like people were used to us selling in a sales page model, right? So they were used to us promoting this one product, and they were going to go buy that one product and go on their merry way and then wait for the next thing that we were going to launch. So instead we're like, hey, here's this shop. Why don't you go get our welcome discount for like 20%? And people were like, I don't really know what to do with this. This is like a different way. So then we thought, we basically convinced ourselves, oh, the shop didn't really work. And it's because here's the thing that we all forget. Guess what? You don't get to put a shop on the internet and just expect people to just go there. That's not the way it works. You actually have to be pretty proactive at making it a centralized place of your business. And we didn't do that. So of course we were just like, oh, it didn't really work. So we sidelined it again. And then we went back into typical, like, creating more, launching it again on a sales page. And now we have to move on to the next thing that people want from us, and not circling back to leverage what we already created. And fast forward to 2022. And I would say, coming out of the pandemic, buying behavior was, and everyone's buying, everyone's consumer is going to be a little bit different, of course. But for us, what we were noticing with people coming out of the pandemic was our business was very focused on a live launch model. So we would have a main program. We'd launch it 4 times a year. And then we would have like little like products that would pop up in between to like fill the gaps. Well, overwhelm was a big thing coming out of the pandemic. People just felt so overwhelmed, and they're like, I don't want this comprehensive thing that's going to take me forever to finish. I want essentially like quick wins. And a lot of things that people were asking us for, we had already created. But what would happen is, it was buried in the interweb depths, because it was on some sales page that we hadn't mentioned in who knows how long. Because can you imagine an email from Old Navy? Let's just use this example, that you get an email from Old Navy and they're like, hey, we have t-shirts on sale and yoga pants on sale and all these things on sale, but you're going to have to go to 10 different pages and check out 10 different times. So it's like 10 different calls to action. So that's why things kept getting hidden that we were creating. And so I was like, people are asking us for the things that we've already created, but they have no easy way to buy it from us. Why are we complicating how people buy stuff from us? And then the shop came back up. We already had the bones of it. We just hadn't been sending people to it. And then that's when it really started to connect, that our shop is in our business has become our central call to action. Once you are in our world, that is where we're set. Limited circumstances, we'd send you elsewhere. Once you're in our world, you're pretty much going to always be directed to our shop. And what's the idea of that is to constantly get you back into the shop and let the shop do its job of selling you more. And that's the beauty of Shopify, which we talked about in my podcast. The difference between Shopify and Etsy is Shopify makes it a lot easier for you to get them to buy more things from you in that same transaction.
I love that. And I think what you said right at the end of the shop doing its job for you, like your website, your shop doing its job for you. I think that's so important. So I love the example that you gave. And it's interesting too for the person listening, because you're talking about selling like courses and like digital products in that way. But I think what you've learned, which I want to tap into next on Shopify, totally applicable to no matter if you're selling a physical product or a digital product or whatever it may be. So when you say shop doing its job for you, like once you get people in the ecosystem, it kind of keeps people there. Tell me more about what that means. And I know that's a loaded question, but maybe like top components of how that really works.
Yeah. So I'm going to give, this is like one of my favorite examples. So, and whether it's Etsy or Shopify, you have to get people there, right? Like without people there, they can't buy you money. So my mentality became, okay, what's going to be the easiest way for me to consistently get eyeballs on my shop? And for me, it started with our email list. But what we, like many creators, how many creators are pretty consistent with when they email and what they're emailing? And so I came up with this. I asked myself and I said, what makes me click on an email? And one of the things that really occurred to me is the emails that I consistently open are the ones that I know I'm expecting. So like, for example, content creators that I have followed that I know Saturday at 9 a.m. they send an email. I'm actually over the years, I've become programmed to expect that email at 9 a.m. So I came up when we decided to relaunch our shop and make the shop our central call to action. So if we're directing people to buy from us, we're directing them to the shop. I said, what do I want to do? Well, I came up with the idea of 3 p.m. Friday emails. And we didn't publicize that, hey, every 3 p.m., every Friday at 3 p.m., you're going to get this Friday email. We knew people would catch on. So this is how it started. So we committed to every Friday, 3 p.m., we were going to run basically a weekend flash sale. And the idea is that it actually serves a lot of purposes. One, it allows us now, we have 52 Fridays in a year. So now I can start resurfacing products that have been lost in the depths of me not being able to talk about it because I had all these other things I had to put links into my emails about. So like, let's just say this is a real example. So this was a Friday sale that we ran over a weekend. So when I say Fridays, it usually runs, we send an email at 3 p.m. on Friday announcing it. We send a reminder email at 2 p.m. on Sunday. And we say it ends Sunday night, but really we don't flip the shop back until Monday morning. So it's like a little bit over a 48-hour period. So this particular week, Friday sale was a bunch of toolboxes. And by toolboxes, I mean like, let's say a toolbox on how to run an email challenge. And you might have like templates and spreadsheets in that to help you, like a one-stop shop to run an email challenge, things like that, because I teach marketing. So we had this template membership back in 2020 where we dropped a new toolbox every single month. And the template membership had a lot of its own issues and we ended up closing it down, but we had these assets. So are you saying that only the people that were in the membership in 2020 should have access to buying these things, or should we make them product listings on our shop? So we made them product listings and we created a collection called Toolboxes. So I was like, well, for Friday, why don't we say that all of our toolboxes will be marked down to $9? $9, like these really great, robust toolboxes. And it's like, so for me, it's like this no-brainer to get the click into my shop. That's the only thing the email is supposed to do, is to get that click into my shop. That is its only job. So I don't care what you, like, people get so obsessed with pricing. And I'm like, I don't care what you have to offer to get that click. But without eyeballs, we cannot make a sale. You cannot make a sale if they don't get to the shop. So this is what we did. So we said, hey, all of our 13 toolboxes are marked down to $9 for our Friday sale. And I followed. So that sale ended up, I'll give the punchline, it ended up making $4,000. You're like, okay, a $9 product that you're promoting made $4,000 in a weekend. How'd that happen? Well, let me tell you, because the shop does all the heavy lifting. It's your job to get them there and then let the shop do the heavy lifting. So this particular person clicks on clicks on the link in the email and it takes them to these 13 toolboxes. They select one toolbox and they go to it. But when they go to that toolbox, they get a welcome offer that slides out. We use an app called Wheelio, and it's gamification, and it does a few things that's really important. So this wheel slides out and says, hey, welcome newbie to our shop, or whatever, that it says. Spin the wheel and you can get additional % off. So think about it. They already clicked on an email where they're getting a really great deal. They're like, wow, these toolboxes are only $9. Now she's going to offer me up to 30% off. But when you spin the wheel, you only have 30 minutes to use the discount. So you are incentivized to stay on the shop. And then you're thinking, well, if I only have 30 minutes to use this discount, I better figure out what else I want to add to my cart to take advantage of this discount, right? So that's the first thing. You get them engaged. So I'm giving them, so now I have, if they hadn't come from an email, now I got their email address. So now they're on my email list, but I'm incentivizing them to stay on my shop, and I'm giving them urgency to find other things to add to their cart because there's only 30 minutes to use it. So in this particular order, they had already put one toolbox in their cart. Now that toolbox got marked down to $6.30. And they're like, whoa, let me go back and look at those other 13 toolboxes that maybe I want to add for $6.30. And they added 5 more. Now, when you're on a product listing for us, when you scroll down, when you get down to the bottom of the product listing, we use an app called Frequently Bought Together. And so we are proactively recommending, hey, if you're interested in this toolbox, you might be interested in, and in this case, it was one of our spreadsheets. So they then click the button to add the spreadsheet to their cart. So now we were up to 6 products, and there were some, what else happened? There were a couple other, I know what they did. Then they clicked on the spreadsheet, added it to their cart, but then they got at the end of the spreadsheet, there was another bundle. They clicked on the next one, and this went on, I believe, until they got to 9 products. And then what happens is now everything's in their cart. Okay, well, it's time to go check out, right? 9 things in their cart. They hit checkout, and we use an app called Honeycomb, and I refer to it as an order bump. And basically what pops up is it says, hey, guess what? There's this really sweet deal that you can get. We set it for 5 minutes, and it's when you have 9 products in your cart, it can get a little. It's not meant to get overcomplicated. We probably overcomplicated it in our business because we have like 100 some products, but essentially it will not offer a product that's already in the cart. So you don't have to worry about that. So it will work its algorithm magic to offer something else up that you sell in your shop, and you have 5 minutes to decide to add it. They can either decline it or add it to their cart. But it's, again, a really great deal. So almost always they add it to their cart, and it complements what's in their cart. That's the whole point of it. You want your order bump to complement what's in the cart. And this is why it'd be great for physical product sellers, right? Because how many things do we sell? Like if I'm selling a t-shirt, why wouldn't I want a jacket or a hoodie or whatever, right? So it's complementing. So then they get to the cart, they pay me money. And then what happens is, guess what? Do you think I'm going to stop there? Absolutely not. Now I'm going to offer you a post-purchase upsell, which is like going to be the most, for me, the way I look at it is what is the most natural thing to do next to my business, right? So because I do teach things, a lot of things that I teach build upon each other. So it could be, like you got one course from me and it's like, well, if you got this course, you might need this training next, or you got this template from me. Well, wouldn't you like the training that's going to help you use the template better, or something like that, And so all of those, we both call them like marketing levers. Essentially, I like triggers, marketing levers go off in the shop, and it entices people to keep adding more to their cart. And so this $9 click turned into a $168 order, and then also a $14 upsell on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's when I tell people it's like magic. It really is. It's like your job is to get them there, put these things in place, and let magic happen.
And I think it's just so smart. It's just using those levers and those triggers in a really smart way that people probably aren't using and are leaving so much money on the table that table is about to cave in because there's so much money left on that table. And I was taking notes as you were talking because it's just kind of blowing my mind too. So I love how you said you did a flash sale. So like an irresistible offer, a really great sale. And I love how you said the entire point of that email about the flash sale is to get them to click. And then your website does the rest for you. I think that's so important, right?
It is so important. And So, because the thing about the sales page model, like if everything's on a sales page, if you think about this, so if I'm promoting something in email, and let's say I have a sales page for a $17 spreadsheet, which I have a sales page for a $17 spreadsheet. When you click that link for that $17 spreadsheet, guess what? That's the only thing you get to buy on that sales page. Now, yes, there could be an order bump on the cart and there could be an upsell on the cart, but essentially there's not 100 different things you could be triggered to buy, right? And so what happens in the sales page model is that price of a product becomes so much more important for you to hit your goals because you don't have all these other things that are complementing it to get more added to the cart. In a shop model, it's like, so that's why people I work with, I really have to stretch their brain because they'll be like, I can't sell that for only $9, but why? Especially a digital product, because guess what? The overhead's not there. Why? Mm-hmm. Why do you care? If I told you, who would look me in the eye and say, if I said, here's $9, what am I trying to say? Basically, like if I could turn $9 into $168, are you going to turn me away? Like versus like, or I can send them to a sales page where the same product is $17, but that's all they can pay you is $17. It doesn't make any sense to get hung up in the pricing in a shop model when you're employing all these different tactics.
Yeah. And I think the key here is to make sure you have these tactics set up, right? So the flash sale with the email to get to the click, then you talked about that gamification. So this wheel coming in, giving them an incentive with urgency on how much time they had to use it. So, okay, cool. What else can I add? Then the frequently bought together. Okay, what else can I add? Then I love how you had like the order bump of the Honeycomb app too of, okay, here are some even more additional things that you can think of. And then the post purchase. So after they've bought, to have another offer for them. So it's just like this offer sandwich of here's an offer, here's a product. What about this one? Have you tried this? Because when a customer is already, number one, getting your email, clicking on it, they're interested in it. So I feel like maybe people sometimes are hesitant to like sell to them or to promote this or to recommend this. If they're on your website, they want to buy. So give them all the options and they'll add to cart whatever they want to add to cart. You're not forcing them. So just giving them the opportunity to do that, I think is so huge.
So now listen to another secret thing that we do. Okay. And this has worked so well for us. So we use an app called judge.me for our testimonials. So we know in an e-com model, we know on Etsy, and it's same on Shopify, same on Amazon, anywhere someone's shopping on Old Navy, when you're shopping in a shopping cart model, reviews are super important. People want to know. And the thing is, what people underestimate is even if you don't have reviews on a certain product, just having shop reviews, just the validation that you have good stuff in your shop is important too. But how do you get these reviews? So we use this app called judge.me, and it allows us to display on our shop like a scrolly of all of our reviews on individual product listings, all the reviews. But the real genius here is I'm always thinking about, well, how am I going to get people back to my shop? It's all about, here's the thing, it's called working smarter, not harder, right? So acquiring a new customer is always more expensive than selling to a repeat customer. So now I have this need to get testimonials, right? So I want to automate the follow-up to get testimonials. So what we do with the app, the testimonial app we use, is there's a series of emails that fires after you buy the product, and we offer a 25% off coupon code if you leave us a review. Mm-hmm. And so people are like, oftentimes people are like, oh, I'll leave a review just to get the 25% off coupon. And then and what did I just create? A repeat. Not only did I get my testimonial, but I just got a repeat customer. We have so many people that have used that feature, and it helps. It serves dual purposes. But basically the thing that I'm always thinking of, how do I get people back to my shop? And that's why the consistent Friday sales, where they came from, was because, I consistently need the eyeballs to keep coming back to my shop. And the other thing I will say that I think was a game changer for us in terms of moving from a sales page model into the shop was, okay, let's talk affiliates for a second here. So when I say affiliates, I'm talking about people who are out there talking about my stuff like, hey, I took this great training, you should go take it. And they want to get a referral for it. So they use their affiliate link. In a sales page model, when people are recommending you and they're sending someone to that sales page, that person that they're recommending can only buy that one thing on the sales page. But now we leverage our affiliate network to send people to our shop. So someone might be in conversation saying, hey, Monica's got this great quick win workshop. You should go check it out. Here's my affiliate link to her shop. But now, instead of just being able to buy the one thing on the sales page, they can buy 100+ things in my shop. So I'm leveraging this like word of mouth and referrals a lot better as well too, using the shop.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I want to ask a question on that too, on affiliates. But one thing before we get there, I love the judge me, how you mentioned that, and incentivizing people to leave a review. Because that's exactly what I teach on Etsy too, is go in there and send a message to your customers. Obviously, it's not as seamless as a Shopify that this can be automated. So a little bit more grunt work, but go to your Etsy purchasers and send them a message asking for a review in exchange for a coupon. And one thing on Etsy that I tell people is you can tell them this coupon only works on my website to try to like get them to your website and make that conversion. But I love what you said. Like, how can we just get what we want, a review, a testimonial, which people need when they're purchasing, but also get them to one step closer to repeat, which I think is super smart.
Okay. The other thing that we leverage a lot, and this is a whole thing in my program on this, because I didn't even realize how much it was going to like just revolutionize my business. But we call it Monica money. And
I
it's
like
really,
that. I may steal that. No, I'm just kidding.
it's basically a gift card issued in our shop. And if you think about this, we incentivize people all the time. Like if I'm doing a live launch, we'll incentivize people with Monica money. If someone uses my affiliate link to buy software, we incentivize them with Monica money. If somebody realizes they bought a duplicate product from us, we give them back Monica money. And you know, the thing is, it all sends them back to our shop to then. So I actually get excited when someone places an order with a gift card, because almost always, because they come. So if let's just say that you get $50 of Monica money from me I'm incentivizing you in some way to do something in my business. And it's like, okay, here's $50 of Monica money. Well, you go to my shop and you're like so excited to spend the $50 of Monica money, but all my marketing triggers are going to take over and have you add more than the $50 to your shop. So like when I see orders come through and it's like half gift card and half Shopify payments, it's because I'm doing my job. Because it's in a digital product model, offering a gift card to my shop is not any hindrance. It's no liability for me because I don't carry inventory.
Right.
So it has solved so many customer service issues too. Like there's so many ways. Listen, it's customer satisfaction, right? So like, instead of issuing actual cash back out of my bank, if I can issue them a gift card, why would I not do it? So that is, but think about in a sales page model, I would have to issue a coupon code for that specific product on that specific checkout cart. So it was easier to refund people a lot of the time. So it has really streamlined so much about our business.
I really like that too. And I want to ask you a question about judge me if you would give your Monica money or if you did a discount, because when I hear you talking about Monica money, I like that because that's part of the gamification too. So you can give someone a discount code for leaving a review and then they can use it, or you can make it super fun and call it Monica money and then they can use it. And it's essentially, it could be the same thing. Obviously monetarily it may differ because of percentage versus an actual dollar amount in terms of Monica money. But I love this because I think it's more the gamification, making it fun, calling it a name to it. So when you do judge.me, which sends the automatic emails for people to leave a review, do they get Monica money, this gamified version, or do they get a coupon code?
They get the coupon code because that's how it's built, because there are two different features on Shopify. Issuing a gift card is different than issuing a gift card.
A gift card.
but
we both blinked on that.
We did take it a step further. And I'm showing her, I know we're listening to audio, but we actually printed Monica money on Canva.
No way. That is so cool.
So like, this is like, it's shaped like money. It says Monica money. It has me on it. And on the back. So what I can do is I will go through our top customer report. It so has a QR code to my shop, and I'll put their name, amount, and code. So I can actually, like, I am a digital product seller. I don't have physical products yet. I can go to vendor fairs and be handing out Monica money for my shop, you know? And so it's like, it's kind of like my calling card, but I will also write handwritten notes to top shop customers and put Monica money in there. And guess what? Now they're getting this snail mail with me, and they're coming back and using it in my shop.
Oh, that is so good. When I worked at Expedia, I actually worked in the, like customer loyalty and specifically
Hmm.
for top customers. And that's one thing we did a little bit different, but we actually sent gift baskets to our top customers in December for the holidays. So when I started running plant-based beauty, I did that same exact strategy, but I sent them a physical product. But in December, after a year of running my business, I pulled the reports of who are my most profitable, most revenue generating customers that are just coming and buying, and like, let me send them something as a gift. And then I started to track like who came back and purchased again and what kind of lift, what did I see from that. So I love that because as a product-based business owner, that's probably maybe even smarter because you're not paying for shipping and you're not shipping out actual inventory. Create a really fun, it was like business card shaped for the person who can't see it, really fun design. And it ends up being that gift card that you can send to your top customers, send it really cheap, snail mail, have them come back. What a great idea. I love
Like
that.
the name of the game to me is how to get people back to the shop. Like that
Yeah.
is like if I wake up in the morning and ask myself any question, if I was sitting here and I'm like, wow, we're struggling for cash flow, the first question I would ask myself is, how do I get people who have already bought from me back to my shop? It is the lowest hanging
Mhm.
fruit in anyone's business. It will always be harder to acquire new people than to leverage the existing network that you've already built. Not that
Yeah.
we always should be acquiring new people. It's like, it, that is part of business, but like, I feel like, and maybe that's one of the things that, maybe that is one of the things that never really connected with me with Etsy. I felt like it was just so much harder to retain and get
Mhm.
those repeat customers versus having my own shop. And that's just like, that's like my corporate mentality. I kind of feel like coming out of
Yeah.
me, you know?
Yeah, I love it. But I love hearing just how you create this amazing just funnel of getting people to your shop, gamifying offers, getting them back, focusing on repeat customers, increasing the cart value. So many good nuggets here. And I know the people listening are just going to have so many great takeaways too. So I just want to say thank you like so much for sharing your knowledge. That was awesome. And to end, just would love for you to share where people can find you. Where do you hang out?
Yeah, well, at this point, I used to send people to like my main website, but really everyone should just come to my shop and see this in action for yourself. So I would say if you want to see it in action, our shop is empoweredshop.com. And then also if you want to connect with me and you want to talk about like how you can do this in your own business, Instagram. I do answer my Instagram DMs, which is monica.froese.
Awesome. I'll add that to the show notes and make sure people can find you. So thank you so much, Monica, for hanging out with me today. What a great convo, and just so grateful to have you here. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me.